Put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
Talking Dicks, that's right, we're the Talking Dicks, couple of dicks just talking from the spin-off web series The Two Dicks. I'm Al Ducharme, Studio City, California, and right there, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Al Romas. Al, what's going on in Tampa today?
Hey man, how are you? I like the lid you got going, the Red Dog Saloon. It's a cool place, man. That was a favorite of mine on the old Alaskan cruises. Get off in, where would that be, Juneau?
It was in Juneau, yes.
And walk over the old Red Dog, and it was like old-timey. They had the piano player, they had their own beer. It was always crowded. The place was great.
Yeah, sawdust all over the place. It was a saloon, a real saloon. It had the saloon doors when you walk in. And,
right.
It is in the capital of Alaska, which is Juneau. It's a landlocked capital. You can only get there by plane or by boat or ship.
And a lot of mostly cruise passengers in there, but some locals. They're a good-looking people. The Juneau people. They're a good-looking people. What are they exactly? What do we got up there?
Do we have any fans in Juneau before we go down this path?
But they don't watch YouTube, that's for sure. So we're okay.
We have two Hindenburgs. Go ahead.
Speaking of your lid, I guess this is somebody who's watching us on the YouTube and doesn't know of the Two Dicks, only knows the Talking Dicks, which is interesting because they just wrote, "What's up with the hats?" I guess this hat, kind of when we wear. What's up with these hats?
Well, this is actually a good thing. This isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
We have new listeners and new viewers in our Talking Dicks podcast, and
they don't know from the
web series, The Two Dicks. That's what started it all. This started because of the pandemic. We usually get together and we film our episodes.
Yeah,
passing through town.
Somehow that sounds gay and dirty. I come to town and we film our episodes. Woo! Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the gay porn channel, that's where the money is, right there.
I'm on. I'll do it.
You'll do it. Money. Same here.
I'll do whatever.
I got your back.
But yeah, we wear these hats. These are like, we wouldn't just name the thing the Talking Dicks. I mean, we're not. What the hell? I mean, there's a reason we're the Talking Dicks, because the Two Dicks was the name of the characters on the web series. And these are the hats they wore in 1954. And if you watch it, there you go. We're in black and white, and they're all on the YouTube. They're on. Some of them are on the Patreon. That's another thing for people listening in now on the Apple Podcast. We're on the old iTunes now, and Spotify. And if you want to see what these Talking Dicks look like, instead of just hearing us in your car, go to Patreon. Look at one of the tiers. Give us some support, and these videos go on Patreon every Monday and Friday.
Yeah, and when we hit $10,000 a month on our Patreon support page, we're probably just going to only do that. Shut everybody else out.
Yeah, we're so close.
Yes.
We're just so close.
I think by the next pandemic, we'll be hitting it.
I think what we do is when we hit 10,000 a month, we actually do film some gay episodes and put that on Patreon, just as a thank you. I'll fly out there, and I'll quarantine for 2 weeks first. And then
we'll have to change the name to the Multiple Dicks if we do that.
Yeah, man, that'd be fun. But anyway, that's our Patreon. That's why we wear hats, there, guy.
You're not wearing the good hat. You're wearing the cheapo hat.
This is the bigger. Yeah, I don't know where the smaller.
There's two of them because I left mine there. Those are the $50 hats. You're wearing the $10 hats.
Yeah, this is the one
I didn't like hearing. I don't know where they are.
Well, they're in a safe place. I just don't know where in the safe. They're in a storage unit.
That came out of our Patreon money, and we have to file taxes.
And it's somewhere in there, and I'm not going to go in a storage unit looking for a fucking hat. You know what I'm saying, sir? So, anyway, that answers that question, I believe. And look at this envelope. Look at this. Questions. We have questions.
Questions.
Multiple orgasms here. Multiple questions. Multiple tables. Your times tables are multiple, and Here's one interesting
Orgasms.
enough.
You left out
I didn't think.
orgasms.
Oh, I believe I said that. I don't think you were
Oh,
paying
you
attention.
know what it is? I've never experienced one.
Hey now. This one I didn't consider, but so don't think I looked at it. And this one wrote Mount Rushmore. What is your Mount Rushmore of comedians? Have we covered this already?
Yes,
on a previous...
we did this way back in the spring.
when we had seven listeners via Facebook.
Well, of course,
so
we have the two dicks on there. That goes without saying. So it's just we have to pick two more.
Point two. Wow.
Other than us, other than my partner, other than my wife Bernadette Pauley.
Right. No immediate family. No connection to the talking dicks or the two dicks. Boy, I don't know. It's interesting because do you go famous?
Well, Bill Cosby was up there for me, and because
Dr. Cosby.
Yeah,
we should have known. We should have known.
And because of he's black, you can't put him up there.
No, they don't. Those black comics aren't funny. They're like women. They're not funny. Let's just be honest.
Pryor.
Not going to put a dame up there.
Cosby would have made it. Cosby would have made it if he didn't rape people.
I think we should have known though when he was Dr. Cosby. We should have known this guy's a douchebag. I bet the secrets.
I've heard stories besides the rape. Before the rapes came out, I heard stories about him being just a very, very mean person.
Yeah, I have a friend
for no reason mean.
I have a friend who was one of the original Pan Am flight attendants, and they wouldn't work in first class if he was seated there. And that was back in 1960.
Yeah, he was just a prima donna. He was a
bad guy. Bad guy. So I wouldn't put him on anyway. I don't even think he's funny. I mean, I get bored to tears with him just sitting.
I loved that.
Babbling about nothing.
I loved it as a kid, and it kind of inspired me, and it gave me a style to. But
you're so different. You have nothing in common with Dr. Cosby on stage.
I've slipped a couple of roofies.
You have? All right.
You don't remember, do you?
I just remember being sore, but happy, a little satisfied. Not bad. Do we only put famous comics though? You know what I mean?
No, because I love Don Gavin. Don Gavin isn't famous, but he's famous amongst the comedians. So.
And he created a style.
Yes, he did. So now,
he created a style that other comedians
emulate.
Copied. No names, but we know who you are.
Influencer. I said Cosby influenced me. Come on.
Who do I put up there? I think my first one I put up there because the whole thing was different. It was maybe Steve Martin. I go Steve Martin as the first.
I love. Oh, are you doing an order? Because I got to put Carlin up there.
I'm just thinking of 4 comics, but I don't know if I want to go. I mean, there are great comedians people don't know, so I guess it has to be famous.
And
4 famous.
To be politically correct or whatever it is, I'd stick a woman up there, but all my famous comedians are all men.
What woman would go up there?
Well, what I'm saying is there's some very funny women.
I agree.
Now, but because I'm talking about legends.
Yeah.
That have been around for half a century.
And a lot of times they're not comedians.
Phyllis Diller was doing an act. She was doing a character. Very funny. But I wouldn't put her up on the Mount Rushmore.
No. People will go, Lucille Ball. She wasn't a comedian. She was an actress.
She was a comedic actress.
It's not the same.
No, very talented.
She didn't do 3 shows a night.
Super talented. Her and her husband, Desilu, the Desilu Productions, they did it. They were. Right. They created Desilu Studios. They were making their own stuff, and the networks were dying for them to get involved.
I guess you got to go Pryor, Richard Pryor.
Yeah, Pryor.
Got to go Pryor. Mm-hmm. So I got Steve Martin, Richard Pryor.
Carlin.
I guess you go Carlin.
I got to throw Carlin.
This is so obvious.
Yeah,
it's Carlin.
And then again, now I got to replace Cosby.
Well, he was never up there. He's not on mine.
No, he would have been, and he probably was prior to the rapes, plural. For me.
Who else? I'm trying to think. Laugh, kill me, so funny. Boy, I don't know. That last one is. I mean, I loved Bill Hicks.
Right.
I loved Hicks, but died young. It wasn't his fault, but not the, I would need another 20 years. It's like baseball.
Yeah, he died at 34, 36 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was young. He died in 91, and I think he might have been around 30.
I think I mentioned this before. I was hosting at the Boston Comedy Club in the West Village, and when Bill Hicks was running around doing his Letterman set that didn't air, he came by the club, and I put him on, and I paid him $20 for his taxi, and he was like, "What do you pay me for?" I go, "To get to your next gig, you gotta go, run, go, Forrest, run, Forrest."
I think I mentioned it before. I worked with him at Caroline's the night he got cut from Letterman, and he did the shows. Just 2 hours of sitting on a stool talking about the U.S. Constitution. It was fantastic, but tables of people just left. So I can't put him up there, even though I would love to. Who's the fourth though? I got Carlin, Pryor, and Steve Martin.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we put your favorite comedian to fill in that fourth spot? So just comment below.
Oh, you're going to trust our listeners with this kind of an important project?
I gave them an assignment.
Oh my God! All right, pick your comic, and if they're picking, they can pick you or I. Then it's not us picking ourselves. So if you know what you're doing, you say Romas or Ducharme, and you win valuable prizes.
All true.
I think. Yeah. What do you think? We have one more question. You want to do it?
Sure.
We got time? How are we on time, sir? I don't have a watch.
We're about 12 minutes.
That's enough of a goddamn show, isn't it? All right, no, we'll give him a little more. Remember that old clip from radio in the 40s?
No, I don't. I was born well after that.
Yeah, this was passed around the circuit of comedians would listen to.
Okay, which one
in
was
the
it?
80s. Yeah, this would be where comedians would have fun. Some guy, it was like a Captain Kangaroo type, and then he signs off, and then he's like, okay, and don't forget, blah, 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 and have a great birthday, and we'll see you next Sunday. And then it's quiet, he goes, is that enough? That ought to hold the little bastards. And it was right out on the air, right? But his voice changes, the whole thing.
He goes from the happy character guy to the, I want my, they won't give me a raise around here.
Give me a bourbon.
Hi, kids.
Give me a bourbon.
Give me a bourbon.
Exactly. Well, it's like, I think Pat Godwin's got the story where he was, or it's his story, but the guy was in the elevator with Captain Kangaroo. And Captain Kangaroo had just done his TV show for the kids, and he gets in the elevator, and the guy is standing next to Captain Kangaroo, and Captain Kangaroo whips his wig off, opens his girdle, and lets out the loudest fart you ever heard in your life. Like 2 minutes after taping it.
It's for the kids.
Yes, of course.
Oh dear Lord, I love those stories. The Buddy Rich, the drummer, musician, band leader, Buddy Rich from yesteryear.
Great
know that stuff. He's on the bus, the tour bus, and someone's recording him fucking lose his shit. And just ripping them apart, like Christian Bale did, and now Tom Cruise. But just it's a tirade for like, what is it, like 12 minutes?
Well, that's the thing. You think Cruise is I mean, listen to Buddy Rich, or the other one is Paul Anka when the band's not wearing the shirts.
Yes.
He wants the band all in the same shirts. He goes fucking killer on these guys. We're all going to wear the fucking shirts, and you're going to wear them professional. And
there's like 5,000 people vying for those positions.
Yeah,
and then you get the gig, and you get a little lazy. You're like, I don't want to wear this fucking shirt.
Exactly. Let's hit that last question. Here we go. This woman or man, I don't know. My writing is so horrible. I don't know what I think. You
should have been a doctor.
I might have had a stroke. I might be having strokes or something. I can't read this shit. Wouldn't that be weird if I was stroking out slowly?
Do you have Bell's palsy?
Huh?
It's a new wireless phone company.
Ah, I thought it was.
It's baby Bell's palsy.
Wow, is that a new bit? Is that come from the COVID?
I think it came from right here.
It's not bad.
You like my new joke that I posted today?
Oh, that was funny. Yeah. What was the joke? I don't remember.
I said
funny.
the
I was
FDA
stunned.
and the CDD has approved my homemade vaccine. I will be injecting women 18 to 29 years old. First come, first serve.
Funny. Yeah. I dropped my lunch. I was like, whoa, that was. He wrote something funny. God damn it.
And blue.
This guy. And blue. Beautiful. Okay, here's the question. I'm getting it. I'm watching The Breakfast Club. What is your favorite John Hughes movie? Favorite John Hughes movie?
Yeah, I know. I mean, at the time when I was younger, of course, I enjoyed them more. I like the soundtrack.
Younger than today?
Yes. I like the soundtrack to The Breakfast Club, I think. I think Pretty in Pink was fun, too. But what were the other ones? Plane, Trains, and Automobiles? Did he do that?
He did. I think that's mine.
That's mine.
That would be mine.
Yeah.
He did. He wrote Home Alone. Didn't direct it.
Right. Christopher Columbus directed.
I'm
I'm gonna go with Planes,
Vacation.
Trains, and Automobiles. Oh yeah,
Vacation.
Yeah.
All the vacation movies.
All of them had hysterical moments.
That guy was a crazy genius, though.
Yeah.
I mean, really, he really was. He was like, there's a good video if people want to watch on YouTube of making of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and I think he talks about writing it in a weekend. He just knocked it out in a weekend. It's like, and Steve Martin's like, I wrote one movie. It took me 6 years, and you wrote this in a weekend.
That's
yeah.
That's like a song.
Okay.
Some writer will be working on this album, for 18 months, and then everybody goes home, and this all of a sudden a tune pops in their head, and they start going dun dun dun, and then he comes up with some lyrics, and he writes it down. They record it the next day. It's the biggest smash of the last decade.
Yeah, but don't you find that with a lot of times with comedy too?
I'm
like
fine with our talking. I'm sorry, the two dicks. We had hangovers. We scripted an episode called The Soda Jerks. We had to reshoot that, but then we said let's get something done, and we did Dog Catchers, and that was the one that got the traction, and everybody enjoyed that episode. And we were just hungover, and let's just go in the yard and film.
Yeah, those are the best. Though. Remember, we'd always be like, we made something out of nothing. I mean, it was nothing, and it became something. That's a cool thing. But that's kind of like with comedy too. If you work over a bit and you keep working it, but sometimes you just write something and do it on stage, and it's like, oh, that works. Holy shit! You know what I mean? Like it's quick and it works.
So I don't know if this has happened to you. Probably not, but it's happened to me where I'm like, I think of something and it works, and I'm like, it worked right out of the gate. Let me try it again. Oh, it's working. It's getting better. I'm good. I go, but it sounds, I feel like I've heard it before. So I start asking other comics, have you heard this joke before? I've been doing it, but it sounds familiar. And they go, no, that's hysterical. That's funny, blah, 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 blah. But I start doubting myself. Like it's something triggered me. And as long as it wasn't another comedian, it could have been something that I've heard from a civilian. And it stuck with me. I don't know.
I've written down jokes that came too easily, and I was sure they were somebody's. Yeah. And I've asked, but you can't, you go, no. So you go, all right, but there's so many. That's why I try not to watch any specials or anything anymore, because I don't want to see it. You know what I mean? Because it goes in your head, and then there's only a limited number of premises and things, and then I don't want to be like, oh, I'm doing a thing about, and they're like, oh yeah, well so and so's new special, and you go. Yeah, all right. I didn't watch it, though. I know,
and I went through a long period of time where I stopped watching other comics, and because of that very thing. And I think that was a mistake, because I think it's important to keep a finger on the pulse of comedy, see where the direction is going. And I shut down completely. What I'm saying is you don't have to watch everybody. I'm just saying. Then I started watching certain people again. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Oh, wow. And it just helps free me up,
That's why I like working with you, because I can watch and go, I would never do that. There's no chance. Give me a warning.
No, really, don't mess with me, because I don't come down to the bus station and slap the dick out of your mouth when you're working, do I? Oh, get on up here, motherfucker. I'm sorry, man. The guy fucking came at me. What do you think, folks?
No way.
Okay, show.
Subscribe. Mary. Arr.
Go to patreon.com/forward the two dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?